So this morning, what I want to talk about is replacing your gear. Okay, so you guys out here, when you are, living on the road, you're living outside and all that stuff, there is a certain amount of I guess you could call it tragedy that happens. You end up losing your stuff. It either gets ruined by the elements or by somebody coming and stealing it, or different various ways in which you can lose your stuff out here in travel, whether you leave it behind or you do or you don't. Okay, so with that being said, what I'm going to talk about is a little bit of my experience on having to replace the things in which I had. And the fact is I'm actually coming out much better, but part of it has to do with you guys have been helping me out. But not only that, I've been taking my resources and what it is that I've been earning on the side, and I have been going and getting myself the gear that I haven't been able to fundraise on YouTube for. Okay, so let's talk about the most important piece of gear. I ended up giving up my backpack, my water filter, my cook kit, my butane. I ended up giving up my hammock and a couple other things that were valuable to me, that would make life living out here. Plus I had a tarp so that I could, with about 100 feet of paracord, which I still got to go replace that paracord. But that's what I gave up. And so what have I gotten in return? Let's, again, with the sleeping bag. The sleeping bag is probably the most important piece of gear that you can have, because it's going to keep you warm on a cold night. You can always go hide under a bridge or under an awning if it's raining, and stay dry if you're in an urban area. So or if you're outside in like a rural area, or way out in the sticks, you can actually make yourself a shelter. I'm not going to say it's not hard, but it's not hard to find the information to be able to do something like that, because there are plenty of people here on YouTube that's all they do is make content about making primitive or urban or bushcraft housing. Okay, so having a sleeping bag is the most important. So I started off with the High-Z Nice. I really liked it. It was really good, but the problem was it was too bulky. So I ended up I paid like $80 for it, sold it for $50. And I ended up using that money, and I went to Walmart and I bought the Ozark Trail 30 degree comfort sleeping bag. Now, the difference between Ozark Trail and, let's say, Teton or anybody else, now I like Teton for durability, but when it comes to giving you the proper stats and selling you the proper product that's going to work for you, Ozark Trail kind of, they win on that one. Because a 30 degree comfort, it's critical, takes you down to 5 degrees. Whereas you're paying $100 for a 5 degree sleeping bag, you can get the same thing from Ozark Trail. And the thing is they post comfort. Most of your places, they post the critical or the extreme, which means, you can survive down to this temperature, and then you're good. And you're thinking you're buying a comfort bag, and you're buying an extreme bag. And so, the lessons I've learned is that Ozark Trail is perfectly fine to go to Walmart and to spend the $35 on, instead of spending a lot of money. Now, I think Sam put a hole in it, so I'm going to have to patch it up, sew it up. I just haven't gotten around to it. It's been raining. The next piece of gear that I got was my backpack. So you guys know that I have a Teton 75 liter, a Teton Sport 75 liter backpack. That backpack, it is durable, but I've also got to watch weight, because I'm starting to see that it's putting a lot of pull on the waist belt, the little compartment that holds it in there. I'm starting to notice some stress on the threading, and that's something. Now, this does come with a lifetime warranty, so if I have any issues with it, I can just contact I can contact Teton, and they should be replacing my bag or repairing it or whatever it is that they need to do. But as far as living out here, the bag's been fairly durable. I will tell you, you got to be really careful. They have 2 aluminum poles, and you can actually pull them out and from inside the bag and straighten them out, because sometimes you may put a little bit of weight on it and it will actually bend those, and then you got to straighten them back out. That's something that I may have to contact Teton for, because I think I really did ruin it that way. So the other thing is, now, as far as sleeping gear, I had a Gear Doctor foam insulated pad. That foam insulated pad did really good in the urban environment, as long as I put ground cover under and I was very careful. But the thing is with my weight and the way that I toss and turn all night, I think I ended up putting a hole in it somehow, and it only lasted me maybe about a month before I started dealing with holes on it on a regular. If you're going to go ahead and you're going to do a sleeping pad in the urban, I would just go with the roll-up foam mattress, or roll-up foam yoga pads that you can get from Walmart for $10, because quite frankly, that's enough padding between you and the ground. If you may have to adjust how you lay and get used to not having a super fluffy bed. But as far as a sleeping pad, that's something that I would recommend over getting like a Gear Doctor out here. Now, camping, it might work, but you got to realize, even camping, there, when the grass gets cut or something like that. Like last night, I had to deal with something trying to poke a hole in my tent. Okay. So the next thing that I have ended up getting was I had a butane burner, a $20 cook pot from what's it called, from Amazon. But what I ended up doing was I ended up buying a twig burner that also doubles as an alcohol burner. So while I'm in town, I can burn alcohol. While I'm out in the forest, I can burn twigs. So one of the things that I realized when I first tried to do the twig burner was that it does a lot of smoke. And if you're trying to be incognito in an urban area, that's something that you got to be thoughtful of. Okay. Okay. So the next thing is my cook set. If you're gonna, it's a lot easier, and I honestly, I like compared to, like, this is my third cook set. I think that the Ozark Trail cook set is actually pretty dang good. I think that it's compact, and you don't have to deal with like the netting and all the other stuff that you have to deal with, because it's the ones I would get from Amazon were loose. This actually clamps in so that it's compact and you can put it in your bag, and you don't have to worry about it coming undone and getting things bent. But you do gotta worry about putting too much weight or pressure on that. So I've upgraded to my cook set. I have kind of kept the same, but gone more economical on my sleeping gear. And as far as the backpack that I have, I definitely did a full-on upgrade of that. Now, I do have a hammock coming, so I did have to go buy a tent because it was raining, and we had to stay we had to stay dry last night, and it's going to be raining for like the next week, so I had to go buy a tent. But on the nights that it's not raining, I have a hammock that's going to be sent to me, and then Sam can sleep underneath me, and we can sleep out under the stars, because neither one of us really likes being in that tent, just because of how compact it is, compared to what it could be. So, but a tent, having both of those as something to use as your sleep system, that gives us the versatility. Now, if I really wanted to, and I think I may end up doing this in the future, Walmart has this hammock that also doubles as a tent. So because it has part of a frame that comes with it for the bug net, and then you just put the rain fly over that, and then you can actually put it on open ground and stake it into the ground and turn it into a tent. Which honestly, that will save room in my pack, but right now my tent is on the outside of my pack, and when the hammock gets here, it's going to go on the inside of my pack, because I finally figured out how to deal with Sam and her saddlebag. I had to really tighten it up and kind of really work with it, and get under her like a mechanic and kind of really work at it. But I finally got it to a point where it is actually working for her properly. Okay, so I do have affiliate links down in the description. So if you like some of the gear that I was talking about, or if you'd like to try some of the gear that I've talked about, outside of the Walmart stuff, you're just gonna have to go to Walmart and get it, because it's regional. But as far as the stuff that you can get through Amazon, I have put a link to it down in the description if you want to check those out. Okay, so this is just kind of how how my gear is set up and kind of how I have how I've done it. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.